Hi guys, happy Wednesday. I just got out of the shower. My face, I feel like, and I'm like so tired. I've been doing some like energy healing on myself, and I was like up all night because of it. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was just having crazy dreams, I was having crazy experiences, and I was just like, why can't I go to sleep? So I've got like bags under my eyes. Ignore them. I am happy, I am energized, I am so excited to be here to do this training with you guys. So just ignore my potentially crazy looks. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about how to turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts, right? Okay, so I did a poll and you guys voted. So the poll was about what kind of guide I was going to create next. The first one, the one that won was healing emotional triggers. So I'm working on that guide right now, and I'll have it out to you guys in the next couple of weeks. And then the second option was to turn negative thoughts into positive ones. So that one didn't win, but I'm still going to make a guide on it in the future. But I figured I would go ahead and just do a live training for you guys, so you guys can kind of have both, which you're going to have both anyways. But we'll do one live, and then later on I'll probably do a live one for the emotional triggers as well. I might actually make that into a challenge. I'm thinking it's going to be like a 3-day challenge. So stay tuned for that. It'll be fun. I'm excited for it. So what is a negative thought, right? Like, what are negative thoughts to begin with? So from my experience, negative thoughts are just our programming. This can be things that were told to us as when we were children by our caretakers. This can be things that our friends told us, or maybe our not so friends told us, like maybe if we were bullied in school. This can be things that happened that were said to us when we were in a relationship, maybe a toxic relationship, and we were told certain things about ourselves and we decided that it was the truth. So now we kind of have these stories on repeat in our mind. So some examples of that would be, hey Sarah, so glad you're here. Yeah, say hi, let me know who's here. I'd love to know who's here, whether you're catching the replay, whether you're joining me live. Say hi, let me know who's here. I want to know who's watching and checking out the training. So glad to have you guys. I love having you guys. So these are just like our stories, right, that are like playing on repeat in our mind throughout the day, whether we realize it or not. And see, that's where we can get in trouble with these things, because sometimes we have stories going on in our head and we don't even realize that we have these stories going on in our head. So the examples of this would be, I'm not wanted, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve help, I'll never find true love. And it's not only about us. We can also have negative thoughts about the world or the people that are in our lives. Nobody will ever love me. I can't trust anyone. People are bad. Money is evil. I'll never have enough money to do the things that I want. So not only are they negative beliefs, but they're limiting beliefs, and they're just stories that we are subjecting ourselves to. And I know how hard it can be, because I've had these stories myself. I've had to work through a lot of negative beliefs and thoughts, and like I said, these thoughts and beliefs that we have about maybe ourselves or others, they are, like I said, they're our programming, and we are able, if we programmed those thoughts and beliefs into our mind, we can rewire them and program them into another thought. So it is possible. We don't have to subject ourselves to this belief. So what I've learned from my own experience in healing, and just from my own research and education, when we believe something, it creates our experience in the world. So if we believe that we will never find true love, for example, then it's going to be really hard for us to find an emotional connection with a romantic partner. That's our experience. If we believe that, then that's what we will experience. So It's the same for like the law of attraction. So like what you think is what you attract. So if you think, so I used to be one of these people that would be like, things are going really well right now. When's the ball gonna drop? When's shit gonna hit the fan? Like if I was having a good week, I was like, man, I'm kind of happy right now. This isn't how I'm supposed to be. When's the next destruction gonna happen? So that was the story that I would say, right? I was always waiting for the next bad thing to happen. I was always waiting for it. And guess what? There was always something really bad around the corner because I was always living life expecting that. And so that's what I believed would happen no matter how happy I would be. Yeah, Sarah, you can relate to that. Yeah. So no matter how happy I would be or feel or how good things were going, I could never just appreciate it. I was always afraid of things being good because I wasn't used to it. That's not how my body was wired. So these, like I said, these are just stories that we're telling ourselves, okay? These are just things that we've decided are true for us or for the world that we're living in. And like I said, just as easily as we have decided that this is the truth, we can change it. And today I'm going to give you guys a framework that I use with my clients to help them do the same thing. So now that you guys have kind of an idea of, well, what even is a negative thought or a negative belief, right? So what's the story? And I suggest maybe if you guys don't already, I would grab some pen and paper. You guys might want to journal this. This would be, this is going to be really helpful. You guys can use this for multiple thoughts, you know. So I'm going to work through with an example for you guys, since I'm live and I can't hear you guys or coach you guys. So I'm just going to kind of work through an example. And if you guys have any questions, please ask them and I'll be happy to answer them. So, and again, don't forget to say hi. Tell me you're here. I want to know who's watching. I want to know who's here with me. So, and like I said, whether you're watching the replay or live. And so I'm going to give you guys the steps to go through this. So now what you need to do, like I said, I would recommend you get some paper if you can. What are the stories? What's the stories you're telling yourself? Are you saying that you're not good enough? Are you saying that you're not worthy of something or anything? Are you saying that you don't deserve things? Are you saying that people are bad? Money is bad. I'll never have my dream job. What story are you limiting yourself and your life experience to? What are the stories that you think about all day? What triggers the anxiety? What triggers the stress? What are those thoughts? What is that programming that we are going to unwind? Hey, Tiffany, so glad you're here. So what are those stories for you? Like I said, I recommend if you can get a piece of paper or come watch the replay again and take some notes next time you watch it. So I want you to really think about that. What is that for you? And now I'm going to give you guys the steps to kind of ask yourself about these things. And you're going to kind of maybe write your answer down. So, and I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm going to work with an example real time with you so you guys can kind of see me turn this negative thought into a positive one or something more empowering. So I'm going to be giving you guys an example with the thought, I'm not wanted. No one wants me. No one really wants me. I'm not wanted. I just should be small. Because maybe I'm not worthy of being wanted, right? But the general story is I'm unwanted or I'm not wanted by others. So the first thing that you're going to do, aside from figuring out what your stories are, what are the negative thoughts, that's the first step, is what's the story? What's the negative thought that's in repeat or on repeat, right? So that's number one. Once you figure out the thought that you're going to work on, the next thing you need to do is you need to ask yourself, is it really true? And of course, now immediately your brain will first say, well, yeah, it's true. Why else would I think it, right? Okay. So I want you to kind of go past your mind's initial reaction to that question. And I want you to really just tune into your body. Not only thinking about yourself, but just thinking about people in the world. Maybe people, so like if you're working on the thought, I'm not wanted or I'm unwanted, think about just people in general. Do you feel like other people are worthy of being wanted in your life? Do you feel like maybe you have kids, you want your kids, right? And maybe you have kids. So then you can automatically say there's a little piece of you like, well, maybe I am wanted. Maybe my kids do want me. So maybe a little bit of me is wanted, right? So how can you kind of work through that in your mind to figure out if it's the ultimate truth? Is it really, really, really true? Not just what your mind wants to tell you, but is it the truth when you ask the universe, when you ask yourself, when you ask like your real self, your divine self? Is it the truth? Is that negative thought actually true? Most of the time, you're going to finally get to a point where you're going to say, you know, it's not actually the truth. This doesn't define me. I'm not defined by the statement that I'm unwanted or I'm not wanted or whatever your statement that you're working on is. Maybe you get it just, and if you don't, that's okay. That's okay. Just move forward and maybe you'll get there eventually. But most of the time we're able to get to a point where we can say, no, it's not actually true. Hey, Sylvia, so glad you could join. So we get to a point where it's not actually true. And we can at least a little part of us feels like, no, maybe it's not the full truth, right? So once we decide whether it's actually true or not, the next thing that we need to do is we need to figure out how is this thought, how is this belief or this this story that we're telling ourselves, how is it affecting us? How is it causing us to react and behave? So what emotions are triggered when we feel this thought? So when I was working on that belief of I'm not wanted, right? I would have said that I felt lonely. It made me feel isolated. It made me feel depressed. It made me feel like I had low self-esteem. So those are just some examples of how a thought might make you feel, what kind of emotions a story might trigger for you. So what emotions are triggered when you think of this thought? The next thing I want you to think about is sorry, I lost my train of thought and I have these notes, but my computer is not turning on. So it's okay. I'm just going to pull it from my brain. Okay. So we need to know what emotions are being triggered and we need to know what memories. So where does this memory, where does this, what does that thought trigger? I'm not wanted. What does it trigger? So for me, when I was working on that belief, and I'm giving this example because it was a real belief it was a story that I told myself. So for me, the first memory that was like triggered when I would think about this was, so my mom, I love her to death. My mom, she's an alcoholic. And she said some things to me that she's probably shouldn't have said, especially as a young adult and a child. So I was an accident. Like, she had a 13-year-old daughter when I was born, and she told me that she didn't want another child, and that the only reason she had me is because my dad didn't have any kids. So that's like my first core memory of like feeling very unwanted. Like I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to exist. And that it made me feel like she didn't want me to exist. So I built that story of I'm not wanted. I'm not really supposed to be here. I'm not deserving of being wanted. So that was the memory. So is there a story or a memory that goes with this story? What memory is triggered? Where does this come from? Where does this story come from? Why does it exist, right? We got to kind of figure out like, or and maybe it's not why it exists, but where what's being triggered, what's actually being triggered in your body when you say this story to yourself. That's what we need to figure out. What is actually being triggered when you say these things to yourself? Because now we're starting to figure out, okay, so this leads down to the emotional triggers, right? So it's all kind of connected. All the healing work is connected. So what's the memory that's triggered? The next thing I want you to think about is, how do you treat yourself and how do you treat others when you believe this, or when you tell yourself this story? So when I tell this story of I'm not wanted, how am I treating myself and how am I treating others, right? So basically, how I would treat myself, like I said, it really affected my self-esteem, and it affected my ability to put myself out there. Like, I definitely wouldn't have been able to make live videos or YouTube videos or put myself out there on social media because this belief was holding me back. Like, no, my mom doesn't even want me. Why the hell would people on Facebook or around the world want to hear what I have to say? You know, like, I'm just not worthy of, like, existing. That's really, like, was the core. Like, my not feeling wanted was like, I'm not supposed to exist. You know, it was just like these two went hand in hand for me. So how I treated myself was that I was unworthy of being seen. I shouldn't be here. I'm not wanted anyways. So I should just not be seen by others. So that's how it was affecting me, and how it was making me think about myself and treat myself. I was, like, not putting myself out there. I wasn't allowing my light to shine. I wasn't allowing myself to be who I wanted to be, because hell, I didn't even think I was allowed to exist, let alone did I figure out, or did I think that I could spend some time figuring out who I am or what I want. I had to get past the part where I thought I shouldn't exist first. So that's how I was treating myself, and how I was treating others is I would immediately assume their feelings towards me, right? I would immediately assume that they didn't want me, and if they tried to act like they wanted me, I had no trust for that. I was just like, why? Like, it was like a why. Like, why do you want me? I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to exist. So I would question people's intentions with me, or, like, their love for me, because, like, I didn't believe it was possible. It was just not possible that they loved me or wanted me. They were going to cheat on me. They were going to leave me. They weren't really my friend, whatever the situation was. So I was always assuming and projecting my fears onto others. So that's how I was treating others because of this story. So how are you treating yourself? How are you treating others because of the stories that you're telling yourself? The negative stories, the ones that are hurting you, the ones that are triggering you. How is it causing you to treat yourself and treat others? So once you figure that out, we're going to switch some gears. Who would you be if you didn't have that story? Who would you be if you didn't believe that story was true? What if you believed the opposite was true? Who would you be? How would you behave? How would you feel? So we're going to ask the same questions, but as if you believed the opposite was true. So the opposite would be, I am wanted. I am wanted, and I'm supposed to be here. How would I behave if I believed that were true? I'd show up. I'd figure out my dreams. I'd follow my passion. I'd put myself out there. I would trust others when they said that they loved me and that they wanted me in their life. I would feel happy. I would feel loved. I would feel nurtured. I would feel like people cared about me and what I had to say and what I was doing in the world, because I had purpose and reason, and I wasn't just supposed to be, like, sitting on the sidelines anymore. So that's how these are the things, this is how I would act and feel and behave if I believed that I am wanted And I am supposed to be here. I'm supposed to exist and be here. I have a reason. I have a purpose. I'm wanted and I'm supposed to be here. That's how I would act. That's how I would behave. That's how I would present myself to others and treat others. I would not assume that they have negative intentions with me. I would trust that if they said that they wanted me and they were showing me signs that they wanted to be in my life and cared about me, I wouldn't question that. I wouldn't be insecure about it because I would no longer believe that. So now that we know how we would feel if the opposite were true, that is great. That's super empowering to feel that. And then to know that, especially if you got in the beginning, that the first part of it, the negative part of it, I am unwanted, was not true. We figured out that wasn't exactly true, right? So now we have the opposite. Now we know how we would feel or who we would kind of be like if we believed the opposite was true. But I want to invite you guys. This is kind of a weird thing. This was weird for me when I learned this, and this is weird for my clients. So I want to invite you to think about something pretty deep here. What are the good things about believing the negative thought? So in my example here that I'm doing with you guys, I'm not wanted. What might be good? What might be good about feeling like I'm not wanted? What are the positive intentions that story has for me? So something positive that story that I tell myself, it's trying to protect me. It never wants me to feel the way that I felt when my mom said that to me again. So therefore, if I put up this wall and I don't allow myself to believe that I am able to be wanted, no one can ever tell me again that they don't want me. It's never going to hurt me the way that it hurt when my mom said it. So it was my protection. That story was protecting me. And what does it mean to be protected? Maybe if that story was protecting me, maybe that story loved me. Maybe that story that I created for myself had love for me. Maybe it was nurturing me in the best way it knew how. Maybe it was... So what else could be positive about that story? So something positive about it, right, was that it loves me, that it was protecting me. It didn't want me to feel that way ever again. So it created this story and it made this decision about me so I would never feel that way again because I already felt it for myself. Like if we just believe this and we know this is certain, no one can ever hurt us like that ever again. I hope that's making sense. Let me know if you guys are liking these steps. Let me know if this is helping. Let me know if these steps are working for you with me giving my example. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, you guys are relating, if this is helping, let me know that I'm not just talking to a wall here. Give me some feedback. I love your guys' feedback. So what else might be positive about feeling like I'm not wanted, right? Other than the protection. So let me just think about it here. So what else might be positive? So maybe a lot of these negative thoughts can point towards us needing to... Oh, okay, here it is. What if it was trying to show me that I needed to want myself? What if it was what if it was my guide? What if that story was guiding me to show me that the answer is, maybe you'll feel wanted. What if you wanted yourself? What if you wanted yourself? Right? You can't control your mom. You can't control your friends or your significant others or other people to want you, but who can? Who can you control or decide to want you? You can want you. And that was the ultimate healing experience for me with that negative belief. Sarah, I'm so glad that it's making total sense. Yes. These negative thoughts, I know we think that they're our enemies. I know that we think that they're out to get us. They're ruining our life. They're keeping us feeling like shit. But I promise you, all of these negative thoughts, or these thoughts that make us feel bad about ourselves or about the world that we're living in, they all have positive intentions for us. They are not here because they hate us. They are actually here for the opposite. They are probably trying to protect us. They love us. They're only here because they love us. They don't want us to be hurt. And this protects us from getting hurt more. They don't want, and another thing is they're leading us to where we can heal, where we can grow ourselves. Whatever that negative thought is, it's our direct roadmap to what needs to be healed within us, to what needs to be worked on in ourselves. How, like, it's directly showing us how we can take a deeper look at ourselves and who we are and how we're feeling. So these are ways that the negative thought can be turned positive. Number one is, what's the opposite, right? The opposite's always going to be something really empowering and makes you feel good to think that. But how can you fall in love with the negative thought on its own, the way that it is? How can you fall in love with the negative thought the way that it is? I love that I felt like I wasn't wanted, because it helped me heal in so many ways. And because I can tell, and I love it because I can tell that it was my protector. It was never my enemy. Once I realized that, once I started to see that negative thought, all my negative thoughts and stories and beliefs, they were my protectors. They were my roadmap to my healing, to my growth. They were the roadmap, they were my protectors, and they helped make me who I am, because I thought that they were keeping me from being who I was meant to be, but they were the direct roadmap to help me get to be who I was meant to be. Because you see how this, I'm not wanted, right? When I felt that way, I was allowing it to be like, oh, well, I have to play small. I can't put myself out there. But now that I've worked through it, I see that thought as my friend instead of my enemy. And now I've been able to nurture the idea of, I am wanted. I am supposed to be here. Now I'm here with you guys. I'm here on these live videos. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I'm on YouTube. I'm putting myself out there. I'm sharing these tools that were really hard for me to find and understand and work through on my own. And I know how hard it was for me to do this stuff and to find these things and to understand them. So that's why it's my passion. And I made sure that I did whatever I could to be here live with you guys, so I can try to make it as easy as possible for you all at home, because I know how hard it was for me. So because of this belief, it was the roadmap that got me here. And it's so funny. I just picked that as an example. I didn't even know it was going to kind of tie into this. So everything's connected. Everything ties in. There's a reason. Like, I just intuitively made a couple of notes, decided I was going to make this training. Like, I knew I was going to do the training like a week ago, but I just made a couple notes and I was just going, I'm just going to go live. I just follow my intuition because I trust myself now, you know? I wouldn't have been able to do that. So I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you guys enjoy this. So that's how we turn. Hey, Plebita. I hope that I said that right. Plebita. I'm working on it. I'm so glad you could join. I'm about to end, so catch the replay. This was, I'm hoping, a wonderful training. I hope you guys loved it. I hope that this was really helpful for you guys, and you guys can use these steps for some negative thoughts and stories that you guys might be experiencing. Like I said, this is these negative thoughts, turning our weaknesses into our strengths, learning how to heal our emotional triggers. That is just some of the work, some of the key work that I do with my clients. So if you are looking for some support, please don't hesitate. Comment support, comment healing. Comment support, comment healing, and I'll reach out to you. We'll schedule a 15-minute chat. I've still got some spots available for my group program that's going to be learning all the same tools that you would learn on my one-on-one program. So I've still got some spots for that for my Wednesday group. If you guys are interested in joining that comment group, comment support, comment healing, if you comment either of those three things, I'll know what you're talking about. I'll reach out to you. We'll schedule a chat. We'll get you set up to either work with me one-on-one for you to get that support and accountability that you need so you can learn these tools in a customized individual way for you, or we can get you added to the group and you can join the group. Like I said, you'll learn the same tools that you would learn with me one-on-one, but you're going to be in a group environment, a small group with women that are going through the same challenges and they have the same goals, but we're going to be in a small group learning the same tools, going through the same process together. So we can make it fun, easy, and because healing should be enjoyable. So if you guys want to have a more enjoyable, fun healing experience and you're interested in learning with me, please comment something like support, heal, group. Let me say I want to chat. And let me know in the comments and I'll reach out to you. We'll get a chat going. So I love you guys. I love all of you. I hope this was so helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed this, if this was good for you, if this helped. And I'll be back soon. We'll talk later. Bye.